Hey, you may not know me. My name is Joanna, and for an introvert, I've always had a strong sense of adventure. Growing up, I always had a love for photography and video making, but it took years to click that it was my passion. Getting out and starting this channel grew my love and appreciation for the mining history of British Columbia, Canada. Having felt stuck in a small town for over 11 years, you could tell that moving across the world was going to be a pretty big deal for me. And that's exactly what happened when I found out I could gain dual citizenship in the United Kingdom through my mom, thus starting the crazy adventure of how we ended up here for this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day, whatever day of the week it is that you are watching this on. Joanna here. We are at Edinburgh Castle today in Scotland. Scotland is so beautiful and it has like the best looking men and women, like, anyways, this castle is huge so far. We're gonna take a little tour around, show you guys some of the history, hopefully provide some cool facts for you. And yeah, tomorrow we're going on a double dead tour, so that's gonna be really cool. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give that like button a hit for me, and if you like my vibe, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Let's go. Edinburgh seriously captured my heart. Every last bit of it. Visiting Edinburgh Castle was incredible and filled with so much more history and beautiful architecture than I had ever imagined. What role did this castle play in history? Who resided here over the years? When was it built? And what is the purpose of the 1 o'clock gun that is now in the intro of my current YouTube videos? I went into this part of my trip completely blind, and I feel that that made it all the better. I remember knowing nothing about Scotland. I had done no research. I had some abandoned places, I had some locations saved in my files, but I had not looked into anything to do with Scotland. When I was planning to leave Bath, I knew that I needed a different type of adventure for the next part. And Cumbria was huge on my list. There was something visually about the photos of Cumbria that just gave that picturesque kind of England vibe that I had wanted, but also kind of visually reminded me of British Columbia. And for that, I felt that Cumbria was going to remind me of home. And when I realized how close I was going to be to Scotland by going to Cumbria, I was like, well, let's go to Edinburgh. And what's funny is I remember thinking that Edinburgh was right on like the cusp to England. And I'm like, no, man, no. Like, you're in Scotland. This is not just, ooh, you crossed the border. You're in Scotland. And it was just an incredible part of this adventure and my time in the United Kingdom that I did not expect. And like I said, I went in completely blind and it was amazing. I believe I was in Scotland for a little more than 8 days. And honestly, it was one of the most incredible places I've been. The people were so incredibly friendly, and everything was just beautiful. I did not expect how big Edinburgh Castle really was. Just the grounds and how much there is to it once you get inside of those walls. It is insane. The first gun was fired in 1861 to provide an audible time signal for ships in the port of Leith. The 1 o'clock gun is still fired every day except Sundays, Good Friday, and Christmas. There were time guns in many more places. The firing of these guns, again, are mainly so ships could set their clocks. The idea of the 1 o'clock gun was originally brought to Edinburgh from Paris by a man named John Hewitt. And later in this video, you will get to see the full footage of my witnessing the 1 o'clock gun, which I was extremely pleased I got to see.
I had to tell you to put the.
I figured it out.
To do it the other way, didn't I?
Ah, my best friends. So Edinburgh used to actually be like completely walled off. Like it was a walled off city. And then there was a second city that is actually, I think it's a part of Edinburgh now, but it actually wasn't back then. And there was like a wall between it and you actually had to pay a fee to get into Edinburgh from this other town. If anybody knows what that big black hole would be, please let me know, because that is one thing I have no idea what it is. It would be kind of cool to find out. The Ordnance Storehouse is one of two warehouses for arms and military equipment built in 1753, now the National War Museum of Scotland within the castle grounds. This museum portion houses plenty to see, including different weaponry and their history, varieties of armors and uniforms. The things you can read and learn about within these walls can be intense and incredible, though maybe only incredible for the fact that we can see these items throughout history.
That's my new weapon of choice.
I can honestly say I don't think I have ever seen so much in one museum. Some of the most intricately made things and incredibly beautiful. This is a good time to tell you guys that I am awful for actually paying attention to what I am looking at sometimes. I am so entranced by the beauty of even the simplest of things. The amount of footage I have of the ground because I like the way it looked is ridiculous. So I will be the first to admit that when I am walking around, I don't necessarily read everything, and sometimes I miss things and I don't see it until I watch back on my own footage and I don't remember seeing it at all.
It's the actual sword from Waterloo.
The new barracks was built in 1799 as accommodations for soldiers. More than 600 officers and some wives and children lived here. Everything was extremely close, though, with barely any privacy, causing very unsanitary living conditions. Now, it provides office space and accommodations for the British Army. Here we have the military prison of the castle, built in 1845 with 16 cells for troops who committed offenses such as being drunk, fighting, and absence without permitted leave. This was actually a difficult area for me to be in. I am not someone to force what I believe on people, and it could be something as simple as my being hot and irritated that day. I never looked into the haunted aspect of going to Edinburgh Castle, nor was I thinking about anything to do with that topic while I was there that day. But as an empath, I can say I felt a whole lot better after leaving this area. I did not feel negativity, I just know I was tense and uncomfortable. It was also quite small inside, and I was trying to be respectful with my filming and photos. I do feel that while I was in this space, I had completely shut down without even thinking about it. The men kept in here were held in solitary confinement, and their diet consisted of milk and potatoes. And there are plaques outside some of the set-up cells giving us small backstories on those who may have been held there.
Can you imagine sleeping on that? Shit. Look at those skeleton kids.
The prison was renovated in the 1880s to extend and improve the accommodation and facilities. The third floor was added to house the officer in charge, and a 2-story extension allowed for a washing and toilet area.
Prisoners' latrines. Oh my god. See, I'd assume they just came and shat here. They didn't have a toilet. They just came and shat in the hole. Beautiful. And we're all like, let's go hang out in it.
Prisoners of war. The recreation of this is unbelievable to see. Set up to look as it would have in the 1800s, the vaults below Crown Square is where the prisoners of war were held and shows the harsh conditions they were made to live in. The youngest captured and held here was a 5-year-old boy from the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Prisoners of war came from all over, most being sailors and many being Americans fighting in the War of Independence. In 1811, 49 prisoners escaped through a hole in the defenses that is still visible today. They were all recaptured. And Caribbean pirates were held in the vaults before it became a prison of war. Most were hanged.
I'm Reuben Welkins, late of the Newfoundland. Yourself, sir? Luke Ryan, the celebrated Irishman? Well, I never. I've heard a few tales of you, sir.
Didn't you fasse entendre que nous cherche-t-il noise?
Voilà bien tout le problème, Louis. Middleton n'est pas écossais, c'est l'Iran anglais. Il ne nous pardonne pas d'avoir fourni des vaisseaux et des armes à Jones, voilà plus d'1 an. Son ressentiment n'a pas disparu, mais pendant que Jones célèbre sa victoire, nous souffrons ici. Et j'ai écrit sur notre...
I'm the French women, by night.
Down there. Guys, the ceiling is so low in here. This is so cool.
I was not allowed to film or take photos in this area for what they say are security reasons.
just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore.
Scotland's precious crown jewels were buried here in David's Tower. In 1941, the threat of German invasion was strong, so the decision to bury the jewels became in effect. The crown specifically under the floor of a medieval toilet, and the scepter and the sword of state in a hole in the wall. Germany did not invade here, and they were brought out in 1945. Here we have the Half Moon Battery, built to protect the palace of bombardment. David's Tower is buried beneath this platform.
We are dreamers of the shore.
I personally feel like I could have filmed this a bit better. This is the world's most famous medieval gun. In the Middle Ages, only the wealthiest rulers could afford such technology, which shows the strength and prestige of Scottish kings. This was an interesting museum portion as well. There was a historic timeline set up all throughout the room and projectors set up, creating a very different feel from the outside. I went into this part of my trip. I went into this part of my trip completely. I went in.